The lesson.
Oh, yeah.
And then your next one, Aerosol Era, and a couple years in between albums then.
Well, that was the King's Way book was coming out, which Puzzle and Whoops and Duet were bringing out. I've never really known Whoops that well, but I grew up with Puzz and Duet since 1987, known them forever. So they were doing the King's Way book, and I had a bunch of photos, and I have a bit of a memory. Like they'd ring me up and say, what was this and what was that, or this colour paint. So I was doing the same, ringing them up. So I was sort of writing songs based on questions they were asking me as well at the same time. So I thought, I'm going to drop this album at the same time the book comes out. So it's sort of a soundtrack to the book. And because of, like I was saying before, when after Beeswax, everyone was saying we just want graffiti tracks. And I sort of wanted to give it back to the whole graffiti thing because that's where it all came from in the first place. So I just want an album. People say, are you going to cut your fans off? If you just do a graffiti thing. It was like, this is what I want to do, so that's what I'm going to do.
And then the title track, Aerosol Era. Now that's the one with the video clip. Now who produced that video, and like where did all that, all that old graph footage come from?
A lot of the footage was mine. I used to run around with a camera all the time and film stuff. See, I had a lot of footage that just sat there on VHS tape that never got used. And there's a guy, Mace, who I contacted him. He had a lot of old footage of even stuff off TV and stuff he'd filmed. And then Heater had showed me how to use Final Cut Pro. I think I did Lazy Grey's Stop and Think film clip. And then I did the Aerosol Era one. So I did it all myself and put it together, and it came out quite nice.
Oh, so you did Lazy Grey's Stop and Think video?
Yeah.
Like you produced that?
Yeah, I went to, just the video, not the song. Yeah. I was doing a gig in Adelaide. I think that guy Blake might have taken me over for it, don't know. I went to BVA's house, and Lazy was recording his Band in Queensland album there at the time. So I rocked up, and he's halfway through doing that song, and I had my camera there and said, can I film? He's like, yeah, cool. So I just filmed him doing these raps, and that ended up being the film clip. And then half of the footage was when I was at Lemwan's house in Queensland. That's where he's tapping on the MPC with all Deus in it. So it's just, 2 different places, and there was just footage I'd taken, this little handy cam I used to run around with.
Yeah, right. So is that the only 2 videos that you've done?
There's a Eureka one from Boney and Stoney, which is more live footage from an Adelaide gig at a place called Republic. It was the first Boney Stoney launch we did. I think that's it. I had one for 28 Flavours off the new album, which is just me smoking weed in Europe and stuff, but I'd never released it. And there was another one, what's the other one? There was a couple I just never released. My computer was like scratch disk full, and I'm not very tech when it comes to all that shit, and it was doing my head in. I got to the point where I'm just like, I just don't want to do this anymore. Nothing's working, everything's too slow, I'm getting stressed here, I'm losing files, they're dropping out. So I left it there, and that was good.
The lesson.
Oh, yeah.